I was wrong. Not even a little bit wrong. I was completely and totally wrong. For years, I've said that AI is a joke, a waste of time. It's overcomplicated autocorrect, and I would never use it on my code. Would never use it at all. The other day, I thought I'd poke around and update some code that I'd written during the pandemic to control my TP-Link smart switches. And some of my smart switches have power monitoring in them, this power strip back here, for example. And I was writing my code, making some changes, making some updates. And I thought, I'm going to try AI. I'm going to see if AI can write test cases for me. I wasn't going to use it to write code. I was going to use it to write test cases. And so I plopped my code into it and said, generate me some test cases. It did a fine job, nothing spectacular, but nothing terrible. So I started running my test cases, feeding the output back into the AI. I tried both ChatGPT and Google Gemini. And as I was doing it, Google Gemini started telling me that the voltage ranges it was seeing was high, which I knew. I mean, 125, 126 sometimes. It's on the high side. But other parts of the house were really low. And it quickly figured out that we had a floating neutral. And so parts of the house were sometimes spiking up into the 129, 130 range, and other parts were dropping down to the 118, 117 range. So I was focused on my code, not really concerned about the voltages, but it wouldn't let it go. It was like a dog with a bone. And it told me to contact the utility company. And finally, after a while, I monitored. I did contact the utility company and said, hey, I think I've got a floating neutral here. Tested my own equipment inside the house, tested my solar system, and ran around with a multimeter, testing all the outlets to make sure the CASA was reporting the right values. And it was within a tenth on all of them. So Encore came out, and it was late evening, and tested at the meter, put a Super Beast on it, and the Super Beast was showing 131 over 113, which is way out of spec. In fact, that's could cause electronics to short out and catch fire. It's a fire hazard. And so they put the meter back in, told me to be careful, and said that they would be back later to work on the problem. I thought they were coming back Monday. They were back on Saturday night, Easter being Easter Sunday, Sunday being Easter Sunday. They come out Saturday night, Sunday morning at 1 o'clock in the morning and start trying to trace the lines out, and they couldn't figure out where the lines were. They got the gas company out to mark where the gas lines were. It was a mess. They ended up jumpering off my neighbor's meter box over to our meter box and letting it run that way on Sunday. Monday they show up and figure out that they needed to go out the front of the house rather than out the back of the house to get to the transformer. They had us tied to they thought we were on a different transformer than we were. And figured out that 2 junction boxes down is where the neutral had started to come disconnected. It was corroding out. In the meantime, they are testing my neighbor's meters and my neighbor's meter to see. And in my neighbor's meter, birds had built a bird nest, which is a fire hazard, because if something in there shifts and touches and arcs and catches the wood in there on the twigs in there on fire, then their house burns down. 2 doors down, they had 2 dead rats in their meter box that had shorted out. Could have been a fire hazard. I never would have caught this, never would have found this had it not been for Google Gemini telling me that the output of my metering script, my metering code, was showing a floating neutral. It diagnosed the problem correctly, told me exactly what to do, told me how to rectify it, and saved not only my house from potentially burning down, but also my neighbors and my neighbors' neighbors. So I'm going to have to take back some of what I've said about AI and maybe use it for writing test cases more often going forward.